In Ashawo Village, men and women walked with boldness in their eyes. Flirtation filled the streets, whispers carried through every corner, and indecent acts were done openly, without shame. Pride and desire ruled the hearts of the villagers, and because of the way they lived, the land earned the name it still bears today, Ashawo Village. Long before people began calling it Ashawo Village, the land was a paradise of joy. The sun always rose gently over the red roofs. Children played in the dust from morning till evening. Palm wine flowed like blessings. Farmers sang loud enough for the birds to answer. And the market women joked so much that even strangers wished to stay. Ashawo Village was not a place of shame then. It was a land overflowing with goodness, peace, and laughter. The people believed they were the most favored by the gods. But fate changed on a quiet evening. The village diviner returned from a long journey to the sacred hills. His wrapper was dusty. His staff trembled in his hand. And his eyes looked like someone who had seen something that should never be seen. The villagers gathered around him. Baba, what happened? Why do you look like the wind chased you? But the diviner did not answer. Not yet. He called for the gong to be beaten. Tan, tan, tan. The sound rolled through the village like thunder. Men left their farms. Women abandoned their cooking. Children stopped playing. In moments, the whole village stood before him. Baba lifted his staff and spoke in a voice that shook the earth. The gods of our land have spoken, and their message is heavy. A cold wind crossed the crowd. The oldest women held their wrappers tight. The hunters lowered their heads. Even the talking drums fell silent. The diviner continued. From this day forward, no one must be outside after the 10th hour of the night. No more night farming. No more midnight palm wine tapping. No more wandering under the moon. When darkness falls, go inside. Lock your doors. And do not look out. Fear rippled through the crowd. The villagers had always worked at night, tapping fresh palm wine, smoking fish, pounding yam for festivals, playing moonlight games. Night was their friend. Why would the gods forbid it? The diviner struck the ground with his staff. Obedience will protect you. Disobedience will bring a darkness this village has never seen. From that night, the villagers changed their ways. The market closed early. Children were rushed home before sunset. Farmers counted their steps so they wouldn't be caught by the 10th hour. Asheku, once full of night laughter, became silent when the stars appeared. Doors shut. Lamps dimmed. Voices faded. People obeyed, because the fear of the gods is not a small thing. But unknown to them, this obedience marked the beginning of a story that would one day twist their destiny and force other villages to call them a name they did not deserve. The villagers had obeyed the gods' warning for months. Doors were locked before the 10th hour. The drums fell silent at night. The stars looked down on the land, no longer filled with laughter after dark. But not everyone obeyed. The princess of Ashawo Village, Princess Arike, was bold and curious beyond measure. Her beauty was like the rising sun, impossible to ignore. Her spirit was free, impossible to cage. She often walked with her servant, Iyabo, through the outskirts of the village, though the laws of the night were clear. And on this fateful evening, the world would change for her forever. As they approached the forest path leading to the neighboring villages, Arike's eyes fell upon a man standing under the fading light of dusk. He was tall. His skin shone like polished ebony. His eyes sparkled with a strange fire, a fire that pulled at her chest like the ocean draws the moon. Without thinking, without hesitation, she jumped from the path and approached him, her heart hammering in her chest. "I like you," she blurted. startling even her servant. The man smiled, slow, knowing, and dangerous in a way that made the hair on her neck stand. Then meet me again, he said, voice smooth as river water, at midnight, the same place we meet now. Princess' heart froze. The warning from the village screamed in her mind. We are forbidden to walk at night. The gods, the diviner, they said we must not. The man's smile deepened. His, his voice was both gentle and commanding. The only way you will see me again is if you come. If you wish to meet me again, you must come at midnight. Her mind raced. Her chest heaved. The princess, already promised to a husband she did not love, felt something stirring she could not name. Yet, curiosity and desire pulled her like the tide. She agreed, hesitant, trembling but enthralled. I will meet you, she whispered. The man nodded once, and then he was gone, vanishing as if swallowed by the shadows themselves. That night, as the wind whispered through the closed windows of Ashawo Village, Princess could not sleep. Her thoughts kept returning to the stranger. Who was he? Why did he look at her like he had known her forever? And why did she feel as if the gods themselves had not forbidden this meeting, but were instead testing her heart? No one in the village knew what was about to unfold. The warning of the gods still hung over every doorstep, every lamp, every roof. But for Princess, the thrill of the night had already begun, and with it, a story that would shake Ashawo Village to its very foundation. That night, Princess slipped silently from the village and met the man under the moonlit path. Without fear, she followed him into the thick, shadowed forest. As they walked deeper, the forest seemed alive, trees whispering, leaves shifting unnaturally. And then she saw it. The man's face began to twist, shimmer, and dissolve until a lost spirit of the forest stood before her, tall, ghostly, and terrifying. Do not be afraid, Princess, the spirit said, its voice echoing like wind through hollow trees. You are chosen to be with me, in the realm where the living do not tread. Before she could speak, the spirit performed a ritual of binding, and Princess found herself married in the midst of other wandering spirits, a ceremony both beautiful and dreadful. Back in the village, panic erupted. The king sent men to find her, and the elders called Baba, the diviner. She belongs to the gods now, Baba declared solemnly. No mortal hand can return her. Her parents refused to give up. They made sacrifices, prayers, and offerings, hoping for her return. One day, Princess suddenly appeared in the village square, her memory lost, her eyes distant and her steps erratic. The villagers welcomed her cautiously and called a wise physician, hoping to restore her mind and spirit. But as the physician worked, something strange began to happen. Princess' presence seemed to awaken restless spirits. Objects moved on their own. Livestock panicked. People spoke in tongues. Madness and chaos rippled through the village. It became clear. Princess had returned, but the spirits had not left. The spirits caused uncontrollable impulses, wild emotions, and embarrassing behaviors. Because the spirits wanted to feel like humans again, they pushed the villagers to act. Overly friendly, overly touchy, overly excited, laughing at strangers, clinging to people, calling out to passersby, speaking suggestively without meaning to, behaving in ways that looked wild and inappropriate. Other villages who passed by didn't understand possession. They only saw Ashawo villagers behaving in ways that seemed shameless and uncontrollable. People from nearby towns witnessed. Women dancing wildly in the streets. Men shouting strange flirtatious phrases. Villagers grabbing hands randomly. Some running after strangers, laughing like they were chasing a lover. Others calling people, come here, in possessed voices. Travelers didn't know the spirits were behind it. They thought the villagers were simply loose, immoral, and reckless. So rumors began. That village is full of shameless people. Men and women there behave like wanderers of the night. Nobody has self-control there. The whole village acts like they are drunk on desire. The neighboring villages closed their gates, warned their children, refused to trade with them, refused marriages with them, refused friendships. They whispered, "Don't go near them. They act like Ashawo." To the possessed villagers, it was the spirits enjoying the taste of human life again. But to outsiders passing on the main road, it was a scandal. At dawn, a group of palm wine traders from Igbo Ed passed near Ashawo Village. What they saw made them freeze. A group of villagers, still half possessed, were laughing loudly, waving their wrappers, calling out boldly to strangers, speaking sweet words with wild eyes, following the traders like playful lovers, seducing strangers, touching their self. Some men dragged a female stranger to rape her. The traders panicked, dropped some of their goods, and ran. By the time they reached their town, they were breathless. Ah, that village, that place is full of shameless men and women. They behave like people without shame. The whole village is like a place where desire is sold freely. People gathered around them, and the rumor was born. 2 days later, hunters from another village passed by during the early morning hours. They met, a possessed elder singing flirtatious songs to the sun, two young men dancing and rolling on the ground, a woman blowing kisses at birds in the sky, another calling out, "Come, come, come," as if chasing a lover, a lady showing the stranger her body and tweaking. The hunters didn't understand spirit madness. They hurried home and said, "Don't go near Ashawo Village. Everybody there behaves like Ashawo. Men and women together, no difference." The rumor grew legs, and the legs became wings. By the end of the week, the markets in neighboring towns whispered it. The elders of distant villages repeated it. Travelers told the story with exaggeration. Children laughed while mocking the name. The villagers of Ashiku, innocent victims of spiritual chaos, became known everywhere as Ashawo Village. One Harmattan morning, when the sky was gray like ash, a stranger walked into the village. He wore a simple white garment. No staff, no bag, no sandals. His eyes were calm, almost too calm, and the air around him felt strangely warm. The villagers gathered and asked, "Who are you, traveler?" He smiled gently. "I am Prophet Law, the one the heavens send when darkness overstays its welcome." Some laughed, some mocked, some whispered, "Another madman, another lunatic, another wanderer." But the king, heavy with guilt and desperation, fell to his knees. "If truly you are sent, please help us." The man of God touched the king's forehead, and the earth trembled. That night, Prophet Law entered the princess's hut. She was sleeping, but her spirit was awake, standing beside her body with empty eyes, moving like a shadow trapped in glass. The moment she saw the man, her spirit hissed like burning coal. Other spirits began to appear, from corners, from roofs, from walls, from under the clay floor. Hundreds, all the ones that had possessed the villagers. They surrounded him, laughing with sharp teeth. One spirit thundered, "Go back. She is our bride. The village is our kingdom." Prophet Law raised one hand, and the room burst into a wind no human had ever felt. Not cold, not warm, just divine. The spirit screamed. The princess collapsed, and the entire village shook as if the soil was purging itself. By dawn, the spirits were gone. vanished like dew. Princess woke up crying like a newborn. For the first time in many months, the villagers felt normal again. They rejoiced. They danced. They called Prophet Law a savior. And before he left, he said one thing: "You are free, but the world will not forget what happened here. A name, once broken, is not easily repaired." Then he walked into the forest and disappeared like smoke. Although peace returned, the outside world refused to change their minds. They said, "That village of lustful people, Ashawo Village, those people that behave like animals at night, Ashawo. Even their princess lost control, definitely Ashawo Village." The villagers tried to explain the truth. They tried to tell the story, but nobody listened. So the name remained, a stain from the past that refused to wash away. Over the years, they embraced it not as shame, but as a reminder. A single night of disobedience can scatter the honor of generations. When a name is broken, even truth may not repair it. Respect warnings, for some rules are not punishment, but protection. And so, Olugbisa village, that once overflowed with joy, became forever known as Ashawo Village.